recently picked up a casting job at GSL, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's taking the place of JYP, actually.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And he's taking your title as best playing caster, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
I had it for like a month, so like not long lived.
Or do you want to challenge him? Do you want to drop the gauntlet and be like, hey, that's my title?
Maybe if he goes inactive for a good few years, then I might take a map off him, you know. But no, I mean, he's super duper solid. He's one of the guys that I super love. And whenever you talk about like foreign or rather Korean terms that you really like, I feel that him, Maru, and Innovation have always been kind of like the three to talk about.
Are we going to get a proxy starport over here? Is that possible?
In fact, how did TY open up here? Like, does he even have a Reaper on the map, or is this totally void? Oh, he does have a Reaper, but he's just playing very, very safe with it.
Yep. And also the factory is quite far away from the barracks, which makes it unlikely that he wants to swap them around, obviously. No Marines. What is he going to do with this?
So he has gone for a reactor. He's making a lot of Marines, and he's got the bunker at the front. Like, it's a very, very safe opening. And the fact that he has kept this Reaper at his base as well, just kind of hoping that that probe shows up eventually. Oh, no, actually, it's across the map. Don't mind me. But now he wants to get a scout off. That gateway does block the jump-up path, and he will be able to get in here. Now, where is the tech of ShoWTimE, and what has he gone for?
Twilight Council is done.
And a second gateway fairly early as well.
Yeah, so it's probably going to get one more, and then the robotics facility, or maybe the robo first, and then a couple of extra gates. The probe obviously couldn't see much because that bunker was done, and the first Marines have been produced. I don't know what TY is going to do. Maybe just make a medevac first and try to get a tiny Widow Mine drop going.
So far, that's like exactly what it looks like. You know, that's been a pretty normal opening for Terran for a long time, where they get 2 Widow Mines, maybe even 3. But I'm interested to see what his follow-up is, because Thunderbird's a huge map. Going into, or trying to deal damage against any race on this map, there's only one way into the 3 bases of your opponent. So Protoss, if you know a push is coming, there's only one place that you need to put shield batteries and one place that you really need to look. So I doubt he's going to be going for that. And ShoWTimE, by the way, this is one of the earliest third bases I've ever seen with this build.
Standard timing.
Standard time for Roddy, you know.
There's no Phoenixes though. So,
Stalker opening against Terran, that's perfect.
do you like it? Do you like going for the quick link Stalker?
I think considering what he has scouted, I think it's very acceptable for ShoWTimE. I think this actually makes quite some sense. It is important that he's aware that these Marines are running to the interceptor map, because he's obviously going to have to deal with multiple issues here, guys. He's going to have to deal with the Marines. He's going to have to deal with these Widow Mines as well. TY can potentially maybe pick up this Adept. ShoWTimE knows about it. Well done. That's a lot of Marines, by the way, Bennett. He's just randomly marching to the other side of the map. ShoWTimE, don't forget about the medevac.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and boost forward, probably dropping those Widow Mines into the mineral line right now. Nice pullback right there.
I tell you what, though, ShoWTimE cleared up all those Marines without any casualties, and so far hasn't lost a probe against these drops either. I mean, this one might get a juicy...
Whoa. Playing with fire there. Terrible.
This unburrowing, by the way, is really cool.
Oh, needs to move
main.
No!
Oh, no! Oh, my gosh.
Okay, well, that's a disaster.
You know, that was one of those things where I'm so glad we have player cams, because ShoWTimE's face upon that hitting, you saw he was like, oh my gosh.
You gotta give kudos with TY though. Like a lot of players, they burrow the mine and then they unburrow it. It's like, oh, extra lost mining time. This is really cool. But then eventually it always feels like, okay, now I need to macro at home. They build the extra barracks. And it feels like they'll settle for the probe kill or the second probe kill. You could see TY did it there over and over again. In the main, in the natural, in the main, in the natural. And hey, eventually all that APM is gonna pay off. That was a sick hit.
By the way, this building positioning of Show... Oh, okay, I was about to say it was going to be difficult to deal with that, but no, the blink sorts it out. Nice pull away by ShoWTimE. Oh, he's actually in range still. Well, that definitely helps him on that regard.
Whoa. Let's see how this goes right here, because this is actually really important. Obviously, coming back against TY is rough.
That tank positioning was really nice, but he does blink into the main. Wow, another tank in a quite a nice position, and just damage being done everywhere by TY.
I feel like often when ShoWTimE plays against the tough Korean Terrans, it's like, hey, that's a solid start, and then if one thing goes wrong, I feel like everything goes wrong. Do you remember that game he had on Dreamcatcher? I think it was against Maru, right? Where Maru basically made this trail of Widow Mines from ShoWTimE's base to his own natural, and ShoWTimE just ate all of them to the face, like legitimately 7, 8, 9, 10 mines.
So Mapu is pointing out he's being a first commentator here, or a fourth commentator as well. Went behind Dark Shrine.
Yeah, I like, so far, I don't mind it, because he has to get something done.
Yeah.
And he did see that it was a third base, so he knows the game will go on for a bit longer.
Yeah, maybe if eventually TY moves out, he can really draw him back right with the DTs, and he can buy enough damage or time. But it seems unlikely he's going to be able to do a lot of damage immediately with his Dark Shrine, because there, I believe, is at least one turret, but obviously there's going to be an eBay because he's already getting +1, and he's got the Raven out as well.
Yeah. He should be more than okay here, unless it's like a...
Yeah, that's the turret.
Yeah, getting up to the turrets here. I don't think he's really going to be able to get too much done here with the Dark Templar.
And that's just, it's so sad, right? Because ShoWTimE knows that everything he's doing right now, it doesn't matter at first. Like, if he gets multiple good moves, then sure. But all of this, it feels like it could have been so good for him if that one mine just connects with 2, 3, even 4 probes. Who cares?
Yeah,
But
16.
16.
That's too much.
The
The sad thing is, if you don't micro at all and you lost like 5-6 probes, so that it would have went better than microing and like denying the mining time of himself too.
What was it? In total, was it 3 mines, correct?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I guess he dropped 1 in the natural, and then he went for 2 middle mine drops in the main.
I think it was 2 in the natural, right? 1 in the main?
Yeah, I think 2 in the natural. But now the
It's just
DTs
so
are actually getting into the bases, and I mean, that Raven can only cover 1 spot at a time, and it's on the other side of the map too. Oh, I love this. The scan happened, and then he picks up, so waste of a
He's
scan.
actually killing 14 SCPs right now.
That's probably more than he ever hoped for, actually. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Whoa,
my
whoa.
god, no,
Big
come on.
warping
If he gets
into the main
Stim here,
base
that would
as
be
well.
massive. Can he get Stim? No.
Jarch is finishing right now. Okay, I was going to say, it's not done yet.
That would have been so big, guys.
It's going to be a lot of
He's actually
SCV
gonna try,
damage, though.
Yeah, but he's also losing quite a few units. Like, this is good, but it's already
There's the
triple of
Raven,
setup.
ooh, at the same time with the auto turrets.
Aye, aye, aye. And the auto turret's going to go down in the main base as well, so a few more probes will go down. A Stalker Warp, and it's not
What a mess.
immediately going to save the day. I mean, we'll soak up a couple of shots. This is still really good for TY, guys, because he killed 9 probes. He lost 16 SCVs, but losing 16 probes when you only have 40 probes, that really cripples your economy. This is a very good blink, of course, by ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE is going to try to get a little more damage done. We'll end up losing 1 Stalker. Losing 16 SCVs is also painful, but over 65 SCV economy, it's a little less painful, especially when you already have triple orbital, right?
The thing is, it's when he lost these probes. He lost them at a stage in the game where he could saturate 3 bases, and then he couldn't even saturate like 2 kind of thing. So it's really rough. And now this huge army of TYs marching across the map. He has better upgrades. He has a Raven, which I think he kind of depleted his own energy sort of thing, but this is a very, very hard army to deal with. And ShoWTimE's even trying to take a 4th behind this, which will get immediately shut down. But it's almost like a time buying. Oh, nice blink.
Oh, nice pickup as well. No, ShoWTimE, you can't run into this many mines, right? Like, it just eats all of these mines to the face, all of the Zealots disappear. Stalkers simply do not have the DPS. He's going to wipe in a few more Zealots. I like the blink on the top side. So he's going to form a few more units joining the fray, but it's already a painful fight for ShoWTimE. Even if he forces TY to go back, I mean, this is not the fight that you want to have with Stalkers and Zealots.
Yeah, the 4th lifts though, right? That's really important. Once again though, a couple of the units do unload in the natural. No Widow Mines this time around. But
You hopeful, Ben? Because I'm not.
No, I mean, I'm not hopeful. This is
oh my god,
the start of a very, very bad situation
Ouch.
where I think he's going to keep eking out little victories here, there, and everywhere. And then, if he can get that though.
Hey, that was the full one as well of the 2 Metavacs.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's definitely not looking good, but he still has a decent probe count. He's getting upgrades on the way. The thing
one
is,
energy.
the longer this game goes
There
on
you
for, the worse I feel it gets for ShoWTimE, unless he can get a big victory somewhere.
The sad thing is that he was so close to getting Storm, guys, and he loses the Templar Archives, and now he's just kind of like, I guess we'll go double Robo Colossus then, right? But, you know, that also stings, guys. So even if TY loses a Medevac full of units there, it's so bad for ShoWTimE to lose his tech, lose his investment, and that's everything that he's been building up towards.
Is there a 4th base yet for TY? Yeah, he's getting one right now. Okay.
Yeah, it's building at his natural. The one thing also for TY, he's actually got double engineering bay here, so it's not one of those situations where the upgrade is going to catch up for ShoWTimE. TY's just going to get more and more ahead.
Can we take a look at how many observers we have out on the map at the moment? One. Where is
wow.
it? It's in the middle, so he just has no idea about all of these Medevacs, these Liberators flying in. It becomes so incredibly difficult, especially against the Korean Terran, to somehow deal with the arrest then, right? You just need a heads-up call.
Wow, disruptors are the weapon of choice for ShoWTimE here too. And I kind of like that. Maybe he's thinking like he has to do something now. Like the attacks are going to come very, very soon. Doesn't have the time for thermal lance and such.
And the nice thing as well, Ben, is that he picked off the majority of the tanks. So it's pretty heavy on the Widow Mines at this point. And Widow Mines are great against Zealots, but not that great against Disruptors. So actually a pretty smart call by ShoWTimE.
Yeah. He's actually making a pretty good game out of this though, right? Like it looked really disastrous.
To say he lost 16 probes at the start of this game to a Widow
Like
Mine
imagine
drop.
that didn't happen. He would have been in a really good spot here.
And I mean, his army, like dealing with the Liberators is going to be a little bit tough. He does have a decent Stalker count. But the thing is, oh, don't be fighting. Okay. He has to be really careful here. These DTs continually being annoying, though.
The armor upgrade is
Wow.
nice.
It's not often you don't see Dark Templar one-shotting you in this.
+1 armor, pretty good for the SCVs there. I'm with you. I mean, like, it's not looking pretty for ShoWTimE. It still isn't. Well, maybe he can actually get some friendly fire there. That's really cool with the hallucinated Phoenix. He's going to blink forward. He will eat. Oh, that's a lot of mine shots to the face.
Oh, and he blew up a lot of his
he blew up
zealots
his own
there.
zealots, yeah.
And that was totally unnecessary because most of the
were
mines
dead.
were already fired anyway.
Yeah, that was a real shame. And now TY is just making... He sees ShoWTimE's armies out on the map, and he's kind of baiting it back with a little bit of his. But this isn't the main thing. He's distracting him. Nice disruptor shot. But the thing is, there's a lot of TY here in the natural. Probes are going down left, right, and center.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's a nice fly-in.
Oh,
These
no.
disruptors, though, are now picked off on the right side. ShoWTimE kind of falling apart at this point. TY just picking him apart.
Yeah, a little bit of defensive Blinkstalker micros. ShoWTimE trying to hang in there. The cannon actually really helping out quite a bit, soaking up some shots there. But TY is everywhere. And I have the feeling that the writing is on the wall for this one. Well done by our Korean Terran. GG takes that 1-0 lead, but I'm with you guys. Considering the fact that that Widowmine drop was incredibly successful, ShoWTimE turned it into a game.
Yeah, and like all credit to ShoWTimE there because he went for some probably off-the-wall plays as well, probably freestyling from that point as well. And, you know, a lot of those games can look very, very messy and like, oh, everything's going wrong. But those DTs, he got some initial counter-attack damage done. The Warp Prism also like almost denied Stim. I mean, the game could have gone very, very weird. So the fact that he was put in such a bad spot, but responded so vigorously and kind of correctly, honestly, like it was nice to see ShoWTimE kind of launching back like a Cobra.
Kudos to TY as well, of course, with some good multitasking, sniping off important tech buildings when it mattered the most. Good arrest with the Ravens. Like, yeah, he was losing a lot of SCVs at home, but at the same time, he killed even more probes. And I really think shutting down the Templar Archives when he did, I think TY was winning the game regardless, but that made it so nice because as a Protege, you're so close, you're like almost, yeah, Storm, you can almost taste it. And then it's like, I guess I'll go Disruptors. And yeah, they are good, but it takes a little while again, and it just takes away all momentum from ShoWTimE.
I also, like, TY played a really good RTS game, right? Like, dragging the units out into a position that you don't really want them to be, don't really want to be out on the map fighting, then Doom dropping with a lot of medevacs and stuff. Like, he just made the Protoss life so difficult to deal with.
I love what ShoWTimE does in between the games as well. He did the same thing against Nemshar where he ended up losing one map. He closes his eyes for like 30 seconds or so. He like breathes really deeply. Must be a pretty frustrating loss, right? Because it's just, the Widowmine connects early on, and that's just kind of, you're playing from behind from there, and you're trying your very best to make a game out of it. And yeah, he did do that, but it's really easy to get stuck in your own head at that point.
StarCraft's brutal, man. Like, a mistake early on means so much more than making a mistake later on. And like losing those 16 probes when he did, he is just so far behind from that point. And the fact that he did manage to get somewhat back into it, yeah, it's just crazy. And spawning in the top left, as our red Protoss, it is ShoWTimE.
His opponent in the opposite corner from South Korea. Currently 1-0 ahead, we have TY.
The thing for ShoWTimE also, like, that's not a loss where he's like, oh my god, I played so badly. That's a loss where it's like, what, like one error. Yeah. So that feels brutal, but he's not going to feel like totally outclassed or outdone. So, you know, he can go into this game, go into this series, and still feel like, okay, maybe I can do this. I know this opponent's really good, but I'm not getting outdone here.
You know, I do want to give kudos to TY for it once again, because I feel like there's a lot of kind of mistakes that happen in a game of StarCraft 2, but that truly was a mistake that was forced out by TY. He burrowed and unburrowed and burrowed and unburrowed those mines multiple times.
It's super easy to just let go of it, right?
Yeah, like people like to do it once, twice, like, hey, a little lost mining time, now I'm just going to settle for it, otherwise I may not fire at all. And obviously I need to build my barracks at home and stuff, but TY didn't give up. He was relentless. He's like, nope, I want the jackpot, and he got the jackpot. And to double down on what you said, Ben, it's not about the amount necessarily, it's about when he lost them. Because 16 probes of a 40 probe economy, guys, you're talking like 40% of the economy is just gone at that point. Like, it's incredibly painful. While if you lose 16 probes of 65 SCVs, you know, you're talking about 18, 19% or whatever that may be. And that just really shows the impact that a drop like that can have in that phase in the game.
Ah, so TY is actually going for a high ground CC. So maybe he felt like, this pro's been doing a bit too much here. Maybe he's gone for a proxy gateway, but, you know, ShoWTimE hasn't gone for any of that. So ShoWTimE could be kind of like, oh, well, is he doing some weird stuff? Like, maybe they've got some new strategy over in Korea, but... So he might be playing more careful than he would normally. because this is the thing, right? When you play against people from other regions, you don't necessarily know the meta over there. But we're looking at this, and we can say that ShoWTimE has probably got an edge in the early game situation.
It did see, though, the timing of the gas, and also that there was no second gas take.
Right.
So you should probably know that there's still a command center somewhere, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Or it could be like 2 additional barracks, but that's so uncommon.
He should know he's in a good shape, and the fact that he puts this robo at the front, I think he's definitely
He should be aware.
Yeah, because like putting the robo at the front here, if you were against any kind of like cheeky, crazy play, that would be very, very vulnerable.
It could also be nice, though, against aggressive plays, right? Because then
Getting out the immortal instantly.
Exactly, yeah. Like, then you know that every unit that pops out, if you build a robo on the top side of your base, if Mappa shows real quick, there are some moments where sometimes the robo is like right next to the gas. Imagine if you're being one-based all in, the immortal pops out, and it takes like 12 seconds or something before it joins the battle. I mean, I've lost a lot of games in StarCraft 2 because I didn't have 12 seconds, right? So I think ShoWTimE maybe was a tiny bit worried, but I think he also looks at it and he's like, I really feel that I can defend every sort of opening with this defensive build. And obviously soon he's going to realize that nothing too crazy happened. Does he have a wall off? Yes, well, it's half a wall off. There are 2 holes here, right? Yes, there are.
Yeah, I mean, he had the probe in position.
You never
so
know, right? There might
more than fine.
at the bottom, I think it's a full wall at the bottom, but
Yeah, at the bottom, yes, but I think in between the gateways it's not, right?
No, it's a wall. It's a wall.
Okay.
now it's full.
Really?
Yeah, they're together.
Oh, I see.
But it's just like it seems not. ShoWTimE so far is very nicely prepared, and wow, okay, so TY he's actually going for the full Widowmine fiasco build. Here.
He's like, hey, those 3 mines did really good last game.
What's better than 3?
Yeah, let's see what happens if I go 4. If this somehow goes to game 3, guys, it's going to be drilling claws open.
This is rough though, because you know when you see those 4 Widowmines.
Got no blink, by the way, Ben. Sorry to interrupt you, but in previous game, he obviously went for the Twilight Council quite quickly, right? And that really helps in defending against harass and multi-prong and drops like this. Now there are no blink stalkers.
And I mean, he's warping in Stalkers in the correct location, but look at this by TY. Like, this is a nice, he just flies through into the main, but he did have 3 Stalkers waiting there. I think ShoWTimE's actually handling this really well so far. I know these these natural probes are kind of waiting, and he's not mining so much while this is going on.
I feel like we missed a mine. I feel like there is one mine somewhere else.
Oh, he actually let the wall finish. Just to avoid Hellions and Reapers getting in. I mean, it doesn't really cost you much, and it can avoid a lot of unnecessary damage.
It's a big commitment, though, by TY, right? Like, if you look at the worker count right now, he really hasn't done too much this time around.
You bank on that Widowmine drop definitely doing more
Yeah.
if you get the Widowmines in. So ShoWTimE definitely handled it well. I think he pulled the probes off a bit too far away from the bases and such.
Yeah,
But
it's like a lot of lost mining time.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, I actually think this is still pretty damn good for TY. Because he's down 7 workers, sure, but he's already going up to 3 bases. And with ShoWTimE's opening, I just feel like there's not that much ShoWTimE can do on the other side of the map, right? It's like one of the most passive openings. It's a straight Robo Bay, it's a Forge, his Nexus is going to be quite late. I think it's inevitable that this Banshee or the Hellions will eventually get a few more probes. Like, this is one of those scenarios where it's like, directly, it's like, it may not look that good for TY, but I actually think it's going to look very good in a minute and a half from now.
does he even have Cloak?
No, he doesn't have Cloak.
So this is a cloakless harass that's also getting so much damage
Yeah,
done.
this is massive.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't bank on this doing what it's doing right now, but the fact that it is doing that, it's also getting a scout off. He's got a better economy now. I mean, equal workers, but he's denied so much mining. Do we have an income graph of this game? Because it must be, yeah. So TY is just getting more and more ahead this game.
I mean, that's
you can see where the mules land.
But with this CC finishing up now, he's going to be able to go up to triple orbital. And once again, with ShoWTimE's opening, I really kind of hate this setup as a Protoss because it's like, you've got your powerful Colossus out, sure, but what are you going to do with it? Run to the other side of the map in tanks? No. I feel like there is nothing that ShoWTimE can do. I feel like there is no plays that he can make right now that are great. Because he's got no blink, he's got no charge, no glaives, no Dark Shrine oracles. So you just kind of sit there and your opponent is already economically ahead. Yeah, that's not a spot I love to be in as a Protoss.
I guess the one thing that he kind of has on his side is TY didn't opt for like double engineering bay right now. So like I know it's a small thing, but going for 5 barracks with 1 engineering bay and the engineering bay being super late too, I dare say that TY is just going to be going for a big push with a ton of units, the tanks. I don't even know if this 3rd CC is necessarily going to be super duper used and pumped out SCVs because it doesn't look like he wants to go for a super long game here.
So maybe the early game mind game of TY. I don't know if ShoWTimE's plan was to go Robo all along, or if he meant Robo because of what he scouted early game, right? But maybe it did work out, right?
Oh, so maybe you say like maybe he decided to go Robo because he saw the CC or lack thereof.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
there is a chance because Robo is very good against all the cheeses, right? Whether it's Marauder or...
It feels like a very ShoWTimE thing to do as well, though, just to simply play super defensively.
That's true. In general, ShoWTimE has always been known as, we call him the Mauer for a reason, and he is a very strong defensively, but I think the best defensive Protoss are always out there as well on the map. Maybe not to win the game with their massive army, because that's most of the time at home defending, but they'll have something, and this feels unlike ShoWTimE to me when there is just no play to be made here. I mean, he is going to get charged soon, so he can set up a couple of Zealots. And obviously, if TY waits even longer and longer, then eventually, by the time he moves out, maybe ShoWTimE can run a couple of Zealots into a mineral line, and then we still have a game. But right now, like, he's got these little giraffes there, and they're just walking around, kind of enjoying the beautiful map, but that's all they can do. And this Raven, by the way, guys, could be very problematic.
And I mean, look at this tank count, by the way. Like, I was thinking he's not really going for that much tech. Like, there's no armory or second starport or, lib range or anything behind this. It's just about this army being super stocky and super strong. And if there's one thing that Colossus don't really like fighting against, it's tanks. And what does he have? He has tanks plus the Raven. This could be really dicey for ShoWTimE. Oh, that poor Immortal at the top 2 takes quite a bit of damage.
At least he forces TY to siege up very far away, but... yeah, he knows. I mean, he's going to warp in one High Templar. Guys, keep a close eye on the High Templar. If he can land a feedback, that would be massive. Then I kind of believe that he can maybe survive here. But this Raven, if it drops 2 or 3 interference matrixes, I mean, then it's just never going to work out for ShoWTimE.
By the way, with these rocks being down as well, it allows TY to choose his point of attack really, really nicely. This is kind of an unusual location to be fighting in for ShoWTimE, though. I don't like this Vim at all.
I love how you call it unusual. It's like, yeah, man, we agree. That's pretty bad. All of the Zealots are running into the wall. They're like, okay, wrong corner. It's like, damn you, Apple Maps.
And look at this, too. I mean, I like how ShoWTimE's going at it from this side, because that's where the Liberators are. The bio isn't either. That's his one hope, but so many tanks, so much armored units. The Liberators also going ham. There's nothing to shoot them down in GG.